Stitchers with Janome Canada. Some of you may know me as Ann Stitcher from our Janome Life blog posts. Today I'm going to be talking to you about our Skyline S3 sewing machine. Fabulous sewing machine. It is a portable sewing machine, a little heavier than our smaller models, but it's got some great features, over 120 stitches that you can do. Smaller computer screen, but it is great for the beginner who's not really into a lot of the big electronics and get a little shy away from stuff like that. Very straightforward. There's a lot of buttons that are automatic, so you just push them and it gives you the selected stitches that you want. So I'm going to turn the camera around so that we can look at the sewing machine and I can give you an overview of what this lovely machine can do. Okay, so first off I'm going to show you how to replace your needle. Just twist this little dial here and pop your needle down. Now you noticed I held on to my needle. I don't want it dropping down in between and into the bowels of the machine. That's not a good thing. Now a needle should be changed probably, depending on your usage, but at least after every big project, or if you break it. And a lot of people don't realize that there are two sides to a needle. So it's one side is rounded and one side is flat. And the flat side always goes to the back. Oops. And just slide up, make sure it goes all the way to the top and then tighten. Finger tighten, you don't need it any tighter, and you're good to go. Now I want to thread my needle. And before you thread your needle, something that you should always do, and it's just a little trick, great habit to get into, is push this button here, which is the needle up down button. And what that does is it brings the needle up and down and put it in the correct position for the needle threader. If it is not aligned properly, what will happen is you could possibly bend or even break your needle threader and it won't work. And I don't know about you, but I like my needle threader to work because it makes life so much easier. So I just gently pull it down until it clicks, go around one hook, around the second hook, and just bring it towards you a little bit. And I gently hold it as I just, whoops, pop that up. There we go. And just pull it through. And now I'm ready to sew. Super easy, but always remember that it's just a great habit to get into. Now I want to make a buttonhole. So I'm going to hit the buttonhole feature. Please note it comes up as a diagram so I know what it is, and gives me all my instructions. Everything's pre-set up for my buttonhole, but there's this little icon here that it's a reminder of something to do. So this is our buttonhole foot. Looks a little daunting. It's actually really easy. So this portion here slides, and you take your button and you put it in there and just tighten it down. Okay. And then we will bring this around and pop the foot in place. Now, remember I said that little icon was a reminder? This is your needle threader. But behind it is another little lever, and you just gently pull that down. And it is a guide for the foot, because remember in the back we put the button? Well, this tells it where to start and stop so that the buttonhole is the exact size for our button. Now, remember that the machine is going to go to the back first. So that's why I brought the fabric all the way up to the front. And super easy, I hit start, and it does it for me. No fuss, no muss. Buttonholes have never been easier. Actually, what makes me want to go make a garment right now that needs buttons, because this is so straightforward and easy. Now, it beeps when it's complete so that you know it's not halfway done. Cut my threads off with my favorite button. And just snip off my beginning threads. And I have the perfect buttonhole. As you can see, there are loads of stitches available on the Skyline S3, over 120. So I'm just going to show you how to use them. Every section at the top is into groups called modes. And basically all you do is you pick which mode you want. So right now it's in mode 1, so I'm going to pick mode 2. And I'm going to do the heart stitches, which is 64. And basically start sewing. Now, if you want to stop your pattern, at the end of the pattern, you push the lock stitch. And when it is finished sewing, it'll stop, do its locking, and it is complete. So it finished to the end of the heart. So now I'm going to do it again. But let's say you're using a decorative stitch to quilt a quilt and you're coming to the end of the quilt. Instead, I'm going to hit the reverse button when it's in the middle, and it stops immediately. Still does its locking stitch, but instead it stops mid-pattern. So that's a great little feature, so if you want to stop immediately on a pattern. Now, let's say we want to make different patterns in a row. So right now, as you can see, the heart is on the screen, and I'm going to hit the M button, the memory button. And now I'm going to pick the tulip, so that's 65. There's my little tulip. I'm going to hit memory. What other thing do I want? I'm going to do a star, so 66, memory. So I've got 3 stitches in memory. And what's going to happen when I hit the start button is it will stitch all 3 of those stitches, one right after the other, in the order that I gave it, and then just keep repeating it. And there we have our heart, our tulip, our star, our heart, our tulip, our star. So it's kind of neat to be able to play with it. So make sure that you do play with your machine. That is half the fun of owning a sewing machine, is playing with it. So one of my favorite little features that this machine comes with, and so does a lot of our other Janomes, is this. And a lot of people wonder what it's for. Well, we just put it in like so, and that gives us an extra spool to be able to thread our bobbins with and not have to unthread our sewing machine every time. And I think that's a fabulous feature because most of the time I use bobbin thread in my bobbins and it's not the same thread at the top, and it's just nice not to be able to have to unthread everything. So I hope you found this video on the Skyline S3 helpful to you. If you would like some more information, please check out our Janome Life blog, www.janomelife.wordpress.com. There's over 10 years of blog posts there of questions and answers and information and projects. So please check it out. We also have the Janome Life YouTube, and we are now starting up a Pinterest board for all the different sewing machines with suggested projects that you can do on your sewing machine. So I hope you find all of that information helpful. Anyway, happy sewing!